What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the chaos. It just fits better. So my name is Taylor, and I'm the Tempest Witch here on YouTube, and today we're doing a life update just to tell you what's been going on. So, where have I been? That's a great question. Let me explain. So I spent all of my brain power for a year planning a wedding, which was great. Everyone said they had a great time. But then there's like a weird, it's not PTSD, but it kind of is afterwards where you're like, I should be planning, I should be doing something, there should be something going on, And so decompressing from that, feeling better, great. Then I got a new job. I work for an independent nonprofit for independent living, and basically what we do is we help people with mental and physical disabilities, as well as substance use issues currently or previously, get to where they want to be in life. So that's either through resources, support, programs, such. So basically I get to just spend all my day having people come to me and be like, hi, I want to know how to do this thing. And I go, cool, let's figure out how to do that thing. And then I tell them, or I teach them, or hey, I'm having a really rough day because I have mental illnesses or disabilities and I'm not doing great right now. I'm like, cool, how can we support you? And we have like group discussions about how things are hard sometimes, but that's okay. And honestly, I love my job. It's very strange, and Chris makes the joke all the time that's like, I don't really know what you do because there's a lot of broad things that I do, but overall, I get to help people, and I work for a company that actively cares about people and wants to help people. It's very strange. I have worked in industries where you are just customer service. You are a slave to people and you just have to bow down, take a knee, bend the knee to people, and they get to be terrible to you. And now I work in an industry where it's like, hey, you're gonna deal with some really hard issues sometimes. We're gonna support you as best we can. And here are all the resources that are available to you because we actually give a shit about you as a person. Shit's wild. My boss saw that we didn't have as good of benefits as he would like. And so he sat the board down and went, hey, this is what we're doing. I'm not asking, I'm telling. And we are going to do all of these things, and you don't have to wait for 2 years before you can start paying into your 401k. And you can just get healthcare when you start working, as long as you're not a limited term employee. Like, it's such a good company, and there's different homes, like different offices and main locations, like all across Wisconsin. They're all over the place, and I'm like, why aren't people utilizing these resources? This is great. Got married, got a new job, got away from the hotel because I had paid my dues. I needed to move on to something better. And it wasn't just that I didn't like the hotel. It was that I became so comfortable in the hotel that there was no way that I was going to expand or grow or allow myself any kind of advancement in my own personal journey. Because when you're comfortable, you're not going to change. You're going to remain the same and repeat the monotony that is your job, and then you're stuck. And I didn't want that for myself. And even though it was really scary changing jobs, it was a really good transition. And sidebar, because that's who I am as a person, it was kind of like divine timing. You remember a few months ago, there was a meteor shower on a full moon, and it was a super moon that night. And so I was sitting outside watching the meteor shower, and you could see some just like trailing across the skies. And I saw one, and usually they fizzle out right away, I thought. And there was one that just stuck around for a very long time. And I went, I found this job application, this job posting today, and it feels right. This feels like what I'm supposed to do next. Because up until this point, I had 3 different people offer me jobs that were similar to my hospitality job. And they were better than what I was getting, but it wasn't fitting. It wasn't what I wanted to do. And I knew that that wasn't the right step, and that they were just tests to be like, is this really what you want to do? Talked to the moon, and I'm like, hey, if this is where I'm supposed to go next, like, give me some kind of divine timing. Give me something that shows this is what it's supposed to be. And then I waited and waited and waited, and for a second became kind of disheartened. Like, well, maybe they moved on to other people because they said there was going to be a lot. and they offered me an interview. Went in, they really liked me, and they kept doing Freudian slips of not if you get the job, when you start your job. Apparently, I found this out later once I got the job, that the reason they picked me was because in my application, I specified some details about why my resume was the way it was, different name changes, and how certain institutions didn't exist anymore, but that's where I got my degrees from. And they said someone with that level of detail will pay attention to details that you need to provide in case notes. And that's a really important facet of my job. And I went, English degree coming in clutch once again. So, got married, got a new job. Then I went on my honeymoon, and that's the thing that ties in with the new job, is when I was doing my interview, I'm like, hey, I'm getting married in these dates, so I will be unavailable. And then a month later, because we had to take a little gap in between our wedding and our honeymoon, I'm gonna be gone for these 2 weeks. This is blacked out already. I am not willing to compromise with these. This is what I'm having my honeymoon. And they looked at me and went, yeah, that's really important. You should definitely have that time with your husband, and we won't infringe on that at all. So we'll just have to work around your schedule for that, and that's not a big deal. And I went, what? Yeah, it was really great. And they had no issue giving me those 2 weeks off, and it was lovely. And we did a bunch of hiking up by like Devil's Lake, and we went camping for a week up at a cabin that's my uncle's up in the UP, and just life is good. Life is really good. So those are my big 3 life updates. Now that I'm done with the wedding and the transitional period of the job and my honeymoon, I have a set schedule now, Monday through Friday, and for the first time in my life, I don't work weekends. And I'm still getting used to that, and that's part of the reason that I haven't filmed, because I've been trying to figure out how my schedule looks. Because I used to have Mondays and Tuesdays off, or Sundays and Mondays off, and then I would have a day that I would just film like 5 different videos, and that was my whole day. And now I really don't have that ability, but I get done in the early afternoon, and then I have the whole evening to do whatever I want, in addition to having weekends. So, my goal is, I have this really big fancy calendar, and I'm trying to be like visual about things. So I'm trying to come up with ideas of the things I want to film, get back into the swing of things. You're welcome. Get back into the rhythm of filming and creating content and getting back my inspiration that I just completely blocked out for the last year trying to plan a wedding, because the only thing I could focus on was getting the wedding done. And yes, it went really well, and I'm really proud of all the work we put in. But I'm trying to remember now the things that brought me joy beforehand. I was a person before I planned a wedding, and now I have to remember what that looked like. So, that's all to say that life is good. Life is actually really great right now. I think things are just going to get better, because now I have structure and stability, and I had that before, but it feels so much more concrete now. So sometimes life is just good. Anyway, I know this was a little rambly, but I needed to get all of this out, because that's how it goes. This is what I be. I am an agent of chaos before anything else. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you on the next one. Skål, my friends.